What's up guys? Welcome to my channel. My name is Sam. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 24 books that I want to read in 2024. So these all have come from my physical TBR. These are books that I have had on my shelves for years that I just have not gotten to yet. One of my goals for 2024 is to read more of my physical TBR. So this is my way of doing this. But also, in order to hold myself accountable, I am going to each month draw 2 books. I'm going to put them all these books, all 24, in a jar, and I will pull 2 books that at the end of every month I will do a reading vlog on. And also, these are not all romances. I have 8 romances. I have 8 random genres mixed with thrillers, and then I have 8 fantasy and fantasy romance books in order to diversify what I am reading this year as far as genres go. So the first 8 books that I'm going to talk about are the romance books that I have on here. I'm not going to go too far into detail because we'd be here forever. So probably just going to hold the book up, tell you just a little bit of what I know about it, and then that's going to be it. Okay, so the first book that I have is Slightly Married by Mary Bellog. Now this is book 1 in the Bedouin series. I believe these are following siblings. Maybe they're all sisters. I think I'm wrong on that. I think they're just siblings. So this is like Bridgerton-esque historical romances. There are, let me count here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books in this series. I thought it was only a 6-book series. 7 books apparently. So if I start this and I like it, that is potentially 7 books from my physical TBR that I will have read simply by picking this one up. Next up, we have Her Wicked Marquess by Stacey Reed. Stacey Reed is one of my favorite historical romance authors. Is this in the same series as My Darling Duke? It could possibly be. I could be wrong as well. My Darling Duke is one of my favorite historical romances. I know a lot of people were reading this one right around the same time that My Darling Duke was getting all the hype. I just never got around to this one. So I do definitely want to get to this one. So next up we have The Worst Best Man by Lucy Score. I believe this one is enemies to lovers. That's all I know about it. As far as Lucy Score goes, she's gotten a lot of hype, but I never hear anyone talking about this book. This, I think, was a birthday gift or a Christmas gift from Kimberly from Kimberly's Book Corner over on Instagram. Yeah, this is for my birthday, so I don't think it was last year. I think it was the year before last, so 2022. Yeah, it's been on my shelf for a while. And then we have When Gracie Met the Grump by Mariana Zapata. This is actually her newest release. This came out 2022. This was also a Christmas gift from Under Victoria's Spell. Yes, she got this for me last year for Christmas, and it's just been sitting on my shelf since then. This, I believe the audiobook just came out as well, so all the more reason to put it on this list. I will have an audio to help me get through this book. This one is following a superhero who kind of crash lands on Earth. That's all I know. Very excited about this one. Very excited for the slow burn. I just love Mariana Zapata, so I need to get to this one. I think it's a crime that I have not read this book yet. This came out, was it 2022? Yeah, I think this one came out in 2022. This was like the romance book of 2022. Everyone who read this was at the top of their favorites of 2022. I still have not read it. I did try to pick up the audio and read it. I just wasn't in the mood for it. I wasn't loving it, and I stopped because I don't want to give this a bad rating. I want to give this a fair shot. I need to be in the mood for it. But also the second book in this series is coming out in March? I believe March, yes. So I want to get caught up. I love Kennedy Ryan. I know that this book is going to tear me apart, and I know I'm going to love it. I just have to be in the mood for it. So this will be read. And then we have The Soulmate Equation by Christina Lauren. It has been a very long time since I have read a book by Christina Lauren. Okay, so I read, the last book I read by them was In a Holidays, and I didn't love that one. But I've heard some pretty good things about this book. I believe there is an app that is developed where you can send in your DNA and they will put it in like a database and it will show you who your soulmate is. And I believe the developer of this app finds his soulmate. So it's following him and then his soulmate, I think. And then we have 2 Emily Henry books. I have to catch up. These are her first 2 books that she wrote. I hear nothing but good things about these books, and I need to hop on it. I'm really hoping that I'm going to love these because I did love Book Lovers, but I did not love Happy Place. So we have Beach Read, which is this a friends to lovers romance? They're polar opposites. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. And then People We Meet on Vacation. This might actually be the friends to lovers romance. I'm probably talking out of my butt here, but these are the last 2 romance books that I have. So now we are moving into the fantasy books that I want to read. So the first one that I have, I think is this a paranormal romance? I know that this is a series. I know a lot of people really love these books. Angel's Blood by Nalini Singh. I think Sarah J. Maas read this, loved this, so it's kind of like inspired her writing as well. I think, don't quote me. I know nothing about this book. Know nothing about it, but it has been sitting on my shelf for years. So this needs to be read. So this next one is definitely way out of my comfort zone. I think this might be more dark academia than fantasy, but I do know there are fantasy elements to this book. I just don't know how much. So I'm putting it with fantasy. If that's wrong, sorry about it. Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. I have not read a Leigh Bardugo book in years. The last book that I read by her was Siege and Storm. Is that the 3rd book in the Grisha trilogy? Like the original Grisha trilogy? Yeah, it's been years, even before the show came out. So even before my YouTube days. You all get the picture. It's been a while. I hear a lot of really good things about this book. I know that there's a mystery in here. I think it's probably going to be pretty dark and gritty. I need to read this. This next one has been featured on my channel quite a bit, but in the videos that I have privated. This is Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. I put this on so many TBRs in 2023, and you know what? I still have not read it. It was probably on some in 2022 as well. What is wrong with me? I don't know. So Mary E. Pearson actually wrote the Remnant Chronicles, which I read years ago and absolutely loved. So this is a spin-off. It's a duology. This is the first book. I hear really, really good things. It's YA, fantasy, probably gonna have a little hint of a romance in there. I need to read it. And then we have Roar by Cora Carmack. I know Cora Carmack actually wrote a lot of contemporary romances back in the day. I don't know if she's still writing. I really haven't heard a lot about her in recent years. This is a YA fantasy romance. I believe our heroine can control thunder, storms, something of that nature. So really looking forward to reading this one. This again has been on plenty TBRs. I think this actually ended up in like 21 books I want to read in 2021. Yeah. Obviously that didn't happen. And then we have Furyborn by Claire Legrand. This is book 1 in a trilogy. I know zip about this book. Like, I don't know anything. It says the world will fall, 2 queens will rise. Sounds like it's going to be pretty cutthroat. I'm interested, okay? I'm interested. And then we have Poison Princess by Cressley Cole. This is book 1 in the Arcana Chronicles. Look at the back of this book, y'all. That is I'm assuming he's supposed to be like 16 or 17 probably, but he's on a motorcycle. I don't know anything about this. It says she could save the world or destroy it. I'm not entirely sure if this is YA. I'm pretty sure the person that pitched this to me said it was YA. I could be wrong though. It may be more like new adult. I know Kresley Cole writes some pretty spicy like paranormal romances. So again, it's just been sitting on my shelf for a long time and I need to get to it. Next up, I have A King So Cold by Ella Fields. This is book 1 in a duet. I have not had much luck with Ella Fields and her fantasy romances. There's just not enough fantasy elements to them, but I have heard really, really good things about this duet. I think our princess in here is like cruel. So it says, once upon a time there lived a princess so cruel that even her husband tried to destroy her. So I think we're going to have more of like a morally gray heroine, maybe not so much the king, but it says A King So Cold, so maybe they're both morally gray. I don't know. We shall find out. The last fantasy book that I have is City of Gods and Monsters by Kayla Edwards. This is book 1 in the House of Devils series. I don't know how many books are out currently or how many books are even going to be in this series. I believe I bought this in 2022 was when I found out about this book. It was pitched as being very similar to Crescent City. I was very, very excited when I first got this book. I'm like, I'm going to read it. I'm going to love this. And then I saw some sort of mixed reviews and I've put it off. And honestly, another reason why I put it off is this does not have an audiobook. And this is a chunky book. So I'm just a little intimidated by it. But I need to form my own opinions and then let you all know my opinions. So this one, I definitely want to read this. So now we are moving into my random genres and thrillers. So the first book that I have is Anxious People by Frederick Bachman. Don't know a single thing about this book, but I remember someone over on Instagram reading this and absolutely sobbing during this book, okay? Sobbing. I'm like, I need that. I need a book that's going to make me cry. And I hear really good things about Frederick Bachman and his writing. So this one definitely, it's been sitting on my shelves. Need to read this. Next up, we have Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Taylor Jenkins Reid is one of my all-time favorite authors. This is her newest release. Still, I believe it came out in like end of 2022. And I have not read it yet. I did start it. I was actually going to vlog this and buddy read it with Cheyenne, but neither one of us were in the mood for it at the time, so it's just been sitting on my shelves since then. This is following Carrie Soto, who was in her prime, just a very, very good tennis player. She beat like world records. And in the beginning of this book, she is watching a new tennis player who is about to break her records and she just cannot have that. So she comes out of retirement and she's training, and then that's all I know. But I know Taylor Jenkins Reid and I know that there's always more to her stories than, you know, what meets the eye. So very excited to get to this one. And then this next book also made its way to plenty of TBRs last year, The Great Alone by Kristen Hanna. I have heard such good things about Kristen Hanna and this book specifically. I believe this is following a family who they moved to a very remote town in Alaska after her dad has come home from the war and he has PTSD. I do believe there is trigger warnings in here for domestic abuse, possibly even child abuse. I am not sure. I just know that I need to read Kristen Hanna because I have not read her yet, and I want to start with this book. Now, moving on to some thrillers. So we have The Broken Girls by Simone St. James. I've had 2 books by Simone St. James on my shelf for years, and I've never picked them up. Don't know why, but this is the year, 2024. This is the year that she's going to be read. I hear really good things about her books, so I'm excited. Next up, we have House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. I know this one gets a lot of bad reviews. A lot. More people that I watch hate this book than love this book, but I still want to read it because I have only, I've read, I think 4 Riley Sager books. I only have 2, and then I'll be caught up with his entire backlist. And this is just the one that has been on my shelf the longest. So I want to form my own opinion on this one. And then I have The One by John Mars. So this is a psychological thriller, but it's kind of like, it's along the same premise as the soulmate equation. So in this world, you can find your soulmate, and so you're following different people and who they find out that their soulmate is. And I think there's like a serial killer that just happens to be this woman's soulmate. I don't know for sure, but I think that's what I remember hearing about this book. I've not read a John Mars book, so I want to read this one. And then I have The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. This was the first book that I ever picked up by Ruth Ware. I still have not read it. I've only read one Ruth Ware book, and that is The Turn of the Key. I absolutely loved that book. I own, how many Ruth Wares? I think I own like 4 or 5 Ruth Ware books, and I've only read one. I just went to Goodreads, and this is her most rated book. So this is the one that I picked. And then the last book that I have is Still Missing by Chevy Stevens. I have quite a bit of this author's books on my shelves. I hear really good things from, there's a TikToker that I follow who reads nothing but thrillers, and she raves about her books. I knew that I wanted to include one of their books in this video, but I didn't know which one. So much like the Ruth Ware book, I just went to Goodreads and then sorted it by her most read book, and this was it. So this is the one that I'm going to be reading. So those are the 24 books that I want to read in 2024. Let me know if you have read any of these in the comments down below. Let me know your thoughts on them. Also in the comments, leave me your 2 top priority, number 1 at your TBR list for 2024. Let me know. 2 books. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.